Hi guys, welcome to my podcast. My name is Nicole and I'm the brains and the beauty behind Yarn Craft by Nicole. This week's yarn chat I'm very excited about because I have a lot of fun and delightful yarny things to show you. But I wanted to start off by saying I did not intend to take 2 weeks off from the podcast. We were traveling over Thanksgiving and then the week that we got back, I tried to do some recording, but it just ran out of time. I started something that I wasn't able to finish, like craziness. And then the rest of the weekend was my birthday weekend last week. So I had people coming into town and I had a blast, had a ton of fun, but I was not able to record. So I am happy to be jumping back on here today. My featured make is just a half double crochet infinity scarf. For this one, it has some really cool color pooling that almost looks like argyle to me. I made this scarf out of Hint of Silk, which I think is a Hobby Lobby brand that I'm not even sure if they carry anymore. It's been a while since I've been in one, but it is so very soft and it has kind of Christmassy colors and I absolutely love it. And it was perfect to throw on with this outfit today. Easy for work and just a little festive. All of these rows are just half double crochet. I think I just ran until I went out of yarn, and this must have taken more than one skein because I think those are pretty small. But just try to match up one color with another when I added in more yarn so that the color pooling kind of stayed the same throughout. Let me know in the comments below if you are a fan of color pooling, if you hate it, if you're not sure what it is. Let me know. The simplest way is to just say that color pooling is when you get distinct patterns made from the bands of yarn. So like this one, the bands of color. This one, the bands of color were very short. So as the colors repeated, it kind of pooled and made this cool design. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it. But I like it in this project. And this was just like simple stitch, half double crochet, made a scarf out of it, seamed the two ends together. We'll also tell you that since we have officially decorated for the holidays, there is a Christmas tree where I am normally filming. So I have a slightly different setup for this week and for next week. So let's get into it. I was in the car for a very long time going to and from Kansas City from Michigan, and so I had a lot of time to work on projects, and I'm going to show you some of the ones that I did here. So we'll start with the birthday sweater. If you are on my Instagram, you've already seen me post pictures in this. I did finish it before my birthday. I finished it while we were in Kansas. It kind of looks like it's wrinkled. While we were in Kansas City and absolutely loved it. Blocked it when I got home, wore it for my birthday. I had this really cute outfit planned for it where I bought this long flowy maxi skirt. I think the high that day was supposed to be in like the 50s, and then the day came and the high was at like 7 a.m. and then the rest of the day it was in the 30s. So I was like, okay, well that's not gonna work. So I threw on like a black Oxford shirt underneath it, and then hot pink pants and very cute shoes, and had my sister and her fiance help me take some pictures downtown in it, and it was perfect. It was great. I'll be happier to wear it when I actually get to wear it as intended, with it to be a little bit off the shoulders, but it was still really cute. I felt very festive, and I think I need to make a birthday sweater every year. The pattern for this one was in Modern Crochet Sweaters from Janine Myska, and the name of the sweater is the Amber Magic sweater. She actually has 2 versions of the sweater in her book. One is called Amber Magic, which is the fingering weight version, and then I think the other version is called like Sugar Plum, and it's made with bulky weight, but it's the same pattern. And what's nice about that is that you can kind of make it based on what yarn you have or what yarn you're interested in working with. So I like this a lot. It'll be fun to wear throughout too. And I was a little afraid I was going to run out of yarn, and I made some adjustments. Like the pattern as written has 3/4 length sleeves, and is a little bit longer in the body, but I just went until I ran out of yarn. I love it. And it's got sparkles. I hope that that's coming through. Beautiful. And then the other things that I finished, really I think everything in this pile is something I finished. I did this one on the car ride home, the car ride there, I don't remember. But I had this kind of tweedy yarn from when I worked at the Wood Needle, and I made it into a vest that I never wore because it was just too boxy. So I took it apart and made this wonderful Tunisian knit stitch scarf. And you can see I've got a couple of ends I still need to weave in. But it's just big, fluffy, warm. I like this because I'm about to go through my second Michigan winter, and I wanted something that would just be massive and would keep me warm. And this is Homestead Tweed, I think is the name of the yarn, and I still have more of it, so I don't know if I want to make a matching hat or if I want to make another one of these as a cowl to put in the Etsy shop. But I like it. The stitch, the Tunisian knit stitch, worked really well with this and gave me the exact look I wanted, so I'm very happy with that. And the one I did, I guess this one must have been the one I did on the way to Kansas City, because this is the one I worked out on the way home. And this one is for my dad. So I did a Tunisian two-tone scarf, and I did just the ends in the darker color. I used Barocco's Remix in Chunky for this, and love it. I will use that yarn again and again and again and again. It's made from recycled fibers. I believe that it has wool, linen, silk, polyester, maybe acrylic. There's like a lot of different types of fibers that are in there, but it's got a very unique feel to it, and I love the drape. So I just want to make myself a big cozy sweater out of this next, but I'm a big fan. I think he'll like it, and it's just a straight scarf. He loves like British dramas and those like flat caps, and I just think that this would be very, very fetching. And I did it in just neutrals so that it would be easy for him to wear with whatever. He currently lives in Georgia. Currently, like he's moving. He lives in Georgia. So I don't know how often he'll get to use it, but he does travel for work. So I think he'll get to use it some. And I've never made him like a hat or a scarf or anything like that before. So I think he will like it. I think that it'll be a good fit for him. And then the other thing that I did that I finished last week, the week of my birthday, that I thought I would be really ambitious and have a pattern ready for y'all when I showed it to you, but I don't, and that's okay. Life happens. So this, I'm actually going to change it out so you can kind of see it on, is what I'm going to call the Belated Birthday Bow Scarf. So you can see the bow. Oh, so cute. So this is an idea that I've had for a little while now. I wanted to create a pattern that uses a sock set. So if you've ever bought a sock set from maybe your favorite indie dyer or from a local yarn store, it comes with a full skein of sock yarn, so about 100 grams, 400 and some odd yards, and then a little mini skein. And the goal for those, or kind of how they're marketed and why they're called sock sets, is that you can do your toe, heels, and cuffs in the accent color, and then you can do your socks in the main color, especially if you knit. I don't know, I mean, it probably would be enough to do maybe the toes and heels out of this in crochet, but it was geared towards knitters. And I don't make socks. I have on occasion, but I've never made socks for me to wear. So I wanted to have a pattern that you could use a sock set with, because a lot of times indie dyers will have very cute ones that is not socks. And so I had a lot of ideas for it. I originally was thinking a shawl, and then this one hit me maybe 3 weeks ago as an idea, and I am very, very happy with it. It uses mostly the linen stitch throughout the body and this variegated, and then it uses single crochet here and then single crochet for the little part that goes around the middle of the bow. And I like this a lot. One, because it's very cute and very feminine and it's just a little different. And two, the name of this colorway is called Thank You and Good Night, and it was inspired by Mrs. Maisel, the TV show on Amazon, and it's from Sorella. So this felt very kind of classy and a little vintage as well. So I really like the way this came out. I took notes on how I made it. It'll become a pattern eventually, but not before next year. So I'll let you know whenever this comes out as a pattern so you can make your very own bow scarf. And if you didn't want to use, if you don't have a sock set or anything like that, but you just have some scraps that you wanted to throw in with one, I mean, obviously that works too. So I like this a lot. I'm very pleased with the way that this came out. The last thing that I've been working on that I can, well, I guess I have two more things that I can show you is I've done some more squares on this guy. I had finished making a lot of ornaments for my mom because she's going to hand out some little of those Tunisian tree ornaments to her staff, and so I just finished making 9 of those. And after I finished that, I'm like, I just need something kind of mindless to work on, and so I just pulled out my squares. And again, I'm just loving how happy this project is. I have a tutorial out for this fancy linen stitch square, which is what I'm using to make these. And like all of these colors, I'm very pleased with the way that they work together. I like them all together. They're very bright, but I'm also like accumulating other like half skeins, leftover skeins with colors that don't quite go with this. I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just make a second one and I'll pick a different shape. So you might see another kind of scrappy finger weight something from me as well, but I'm a big fan. I like this a lot and it's been fun to add to it. I don't know how much bigger it will get. And it might just be a project that stays tucked away for a while, and that's fine. There's no rush on this one. This one is just a kind of as you are working on it project. The last thing that I'm working on currently is a cute little gnome, and I think I have, there he is, the bottom part of him done. And this is an order for a friend of ours actually, and I was like, oh, you want to know what color? And she's like, literally anything, but our daughter really likes pink. So I had this left over from Sorella, from a shawl that I made last year that I'll probably wear next week on the podcast because it's like my favorite Christmassy one. And then this is left over from a cardigan that I made, the Shiloh cardigan. And I thought that red, I don't know if y'all can see, I'm also using a lamp instead of a more natural light because outside is very, very gray today. This really pretty dark red I thought would play well with it. And then I had this left over from another blanket that I made. I don't remember the brand on that, but that's the bottom of the gnome. So he's gonna have his little arms in the same sweater pattern, and then a gray beard, and then his hat is gonna be the same red color. So hoping to finish him tonight. Because the rest of the pieces go theoretically easy. I make custom gnomes on Etsy, so if you are into that, let me know if you want a custom gnome. He's very cute. So there were 2 other projects that I haven't decided what I'm going to do with them. I had a Christmas tree skirt that I was working on with I think it's a super bulky yarn. I think it's a 6. And I crocheted it once and it was too small, and so then I changed the pattern and I was like, okay, this should give me more yardage like per stitch. This should be a little bit bigger. It's also too small. I'm like, fine, like we're not gonna try to figure that out this year with that. So maybe next year I'll make a Christmas tree shirt. I'm actually just using the flower blanket that I usually have behind me in these videos as our Christmas tree skirt. And it's kind of cute, so that's fine for this year. We'll see what next year looks like. And then the other thing that I was working on is the Sexy Gun Cardi, which I don't have near me, but I was using some LaRue cotton and a fingering weight, and it's stunning. It's gorgeous. but I'm gonna be nowhere near the amount of yarn that I need for that. So I think I'd rather save that yarn for a different project, and I haven't cut it or anything, so that won't be that hard to do. But then I also tried starting it with a different yarn that I had in my stash that was like a gift from somebody, and I also don't think that's gonna be enough. So I'm like, just wait until you buy yarn for that project, specifically for that project, make sure you get enough, and don't try to do it right now. So that's currently in timeout. But speaking of yarn, I have a massive pile of yarn beside me right now, and I'm not even sure where I want to start. I think I will start with birthday yarn. So my birthday was last Saturday. I'm now 31. It was a wonderful birthday. I ate entirely too many carbs and a lot of chocolate cheesecake, and got to celebrate with people that I love. So it was a great day. And I made my husband buy me yarn as a present because there is a yarn dyer that I really like, whose name is also Nicole, Nicole of Loco. And she had these gorgeous mini sets that were the birth flower. Yeah, like the birth month flower. So every month she would have like the October flower minis or the November flower minis. And so I was like, okay, this is what I want. Buy it for me when it comes out. And then I reminded him after she posted pictures of it, I'm like, so this is it. Like, you should buy it from her. And so that came in. And they're so pretty. I wish that the lighting was better in here because they are adorable. So this came with, I think there were 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 skeins, and I haven't even taken them out yet. They're on a sock, sock weight yarn, and they range from this like creamy neutral to like the bright coral that's in the middle to this kind of blue tealy color over here, and I love it. And I'm so happy, and I'm just happy with it. I think what I want to do with this is I want to make a circle yoke sweater so that I can show off all of these colors near my face. And then like if I start, sorry for the crinkling sound if that's bothering anybody, like start with this around my neckline and maybe do a little bit of ribbing in this, and then just use all of the colors until I use them out, and then pick a color either at my local yarn store or from another place that complements this last one well, and then just do the rest of the sweater in that. That is my idea for this. We'll see if I have another idea before I start working with it, but that is my current idea for these minis, and I love them. And he did a good job, and I feel like before last year, I was like, I don't want to tell people what to get me. Like that's a little demanding, a little high maintenance. But last year and this year, there was just something specific that I wanted. I'm like, I want to get this, and we can call it birthday, or we can pull it out of something else that's in the budget. But like, this is something that I'm really interested in, that I really want. So I'm thrilled with those. I've used Loco's yarn before, and it's awesome. Like, she does a really good job with saturating the colors, and I love her style. She's amazing. So that was for my birthday. And then when we were in Kansas City, I like to shop at local yarn stores when we travel. And so I went to one called Yarn Social that is in Kansas City. And I've bought from them before. They're a wonderful, lovely local yarn store. And look, I really wish the lighting was better. Look at these happy, they're not even minis. What are these called? Because they're 50 grams instead of 100. I don't know, mega minis. Let me know what these are called. Half skeins. But they're all from Goosey Fibers, and I love them. I tried to get a fade, and I don't really use this color a lot. This kind of orangey, not quite a pumpkin, but this color. So I was like, I want to try to see what I can find that goes with this. And then I found this kind of purpley color, and I don't know if you can tell, but there's actually some orange in there as well. And then this really pretty neutral at the top. So I'm thinking some sort of a pretty fade cowl, because we know I love a cowl and I think that would show off the yarn pretty well. These were each 14 bucks a piece, and I love them. They make me happy. When I was there, I got to pick a mystery bag, and in the mystery bag there was this really fun yarn. It's called Bud from Juniper Moon. And what are you made out of? 100% cotton, that's what I thought. And it's kind of got this nubby texture and a dark blue. You can't go wrong with dark blue, so I'm happy with this. That was a fun freebie. And that is all from Yarn Social. And then for local yarn store day, I shopped at 2 places for yarn specifically. So one place that I shopped was my local yarn store when I was living in Tennessee, where I worked for a while. And so I try to buy from them on either local yarn store day or on Small Business Saturday. I think I misspoke earlier. Small Business Saturday is when I bought this yarn. And so I bought 3 types of yarn that I was interested in trying that I hadn't tried yet. So the first one that I bought is called Jewel Spun, and it's from Sirdar, and is a big old donut of yarn. I believe that it's 200 grams. Of course, yes, 200 grams. And this is 100% acrylic yarn, but it changes into all of these wonderful colors, and it's so very soft, and it's beautiful. And when we were at the store, I had seen this. I was like, oh, that needs to be something. I just don't know what. And so this year I'm like, I'll figure out what it needs to be while I'm here. And I love it. I think the Wood Needle, which is where I bought this from, has it in 4 or 5 colors. And they're all gorgeous. And I want them all. So I don't know what this will become. 200 grams is a lot of yarn. So we will see. We will see what this becomes. It could be a really cute pillow. It could be a pretty, obviously it could be a pretty scarf or shawl or something like that too. But yes, 100% acrylic. I believe that this was 14 bucks. Yeah, this was 14 bucks for 200 grams. So I thought that was a good deal. And then the other one that I had seen on their website that I was like, ooh, that's interesting, is also from Juniper Moon Fibers. So the same, or Juniper Moon Farm, I should say. The same company that does this. And I bought from them before. I love their yarn. They have these adorable cakes that are ombre, that are Mako cotton, Israeli Mako cotton. And it's called Cumulus Delight because it feels like a cloud. It is crazy soft. This one is called Senna Sandcastle, and it's a worsted weight yarn. There's 251 yards in this, and it is 94% cotton and 6% nylon, and it's gorgeous. This was 25 bucks, so a little bit more of a splurge. I had seen it worked up into a baby blanket where they had 2 cakes of this. And they just did like a baby blanket on a bias where they knit, I think they went light to dark to light, but I think it's too cute. And I tried to get a color that I wouldn't usually get. They had it in blue, I think a pink, like a tealy green, but it is, I'll show you with the label again, it is adorable and I love it. And I don't know what it will become. Even a little bit. I have no idea what this will be, but thought it would be fun to give it a shot. And then the last one I bought from them was also same company, still Cumulus, so it's like the same fiber content as this one, but then this is called Dappled, and it just looks like, I don't know, fall in Arizona, like these pretty turquoise and like this red, brown with a little bit of green. It's too pretty. This one was also $25. It's the same fiber content, 251 yards. So these have the same amount of yardage, and honestly they would look good together, but I don't know what they're going to become yet, if they will be worked up together or separately. Honestly, like this would be a really pretty like giant granny square. You just go until you run out and then use this as a border. We'll see if that's what it becomes, but I love these, and they're just so incredibly soft. I love it. And I haven't really seen that. Both of these were new to the wooden needle after I worked there. So I hadn't seen these in person yet. And when I texted a friend of mine who still works there, I was like, hey, I'm going to place an order, Small Business Saturday. Like, what is a yarn that I need to buy? Like, what's a new one that I need to check out? She was like, get the Cumulus Dappled because it's fantastic. So I love it. And then you might say, Nicole, that is enough yarn. And indeed, it would be enough yarn. But then I also buy yarn from another small business on Small Business Saturday. Excuse me. Go ahead and take a sip of my delightful hot tea. 'Tis the season. And she was running a really good deal on one-of-a-kind skeins. So if you see online that a skein is called OOAK, that means one of a kind. And usually dyers will offer that at a discount, and that kind of lets them deplete their supply of test skeins as they're coming up with colors. But it's also a really good way to learn if you like a type of yarn. So I've bought from Montana Crochet before. I've actually tested with Ashley, who's the owner, and a group before, and she's wonderful and lovely. And so when I saw that she was having a sale, I'm like, okay, I can buy from her. And she had a good deal on buying 2 skeins at a time. And what she did, which not all yarn dyers do, is that she actually photographed all of her bundles so that you could see what you're getting. Sometimes companies like Sorella will have an oopsie sale where you just kind of tell them colors that you like and a yarn weight, and they'll do their best to match it. But it's a surprise. You don't know what you're going to get. This was nice because I just knew exactly what I was going to get with her. So I got these, oh, and they look so good on camera. These beautiful skeins, and both of these are one of a kind, so I don't think that they have names. But both of these are DK weight yarn, and there is a pattern from Terrapin Fiberworks called the Towpath Cowl that came out recently, where you use 1 skein each of DK yarn, and you make a 2-sided cowl that kind of twists in the front so you can see both colors. And that's what I bought these for. I thought they would be perfect for that. And this is going to be one of the projects I take with me when I go home for Christmas, because it'll be easy and simple and cute, and I love it. And it was beautiful. And what she also did, which blew my mind, is that for every skein that you got 2 mini skeins. Or no, sorry. For every like set that you got 2 mini skeins. And I just kind of assumed that they would be whatever mini skeins that she had around. No. They match. I will show you. They match perfectly these 2 skeins. I mean, my word. Look at those. They're adorable. So this is still going to become that towpath towpath cowl. But I don't know what these are going to become. They're just too cute, and I love them. So I don't know, but I did not expect these to match, and they did. So all of this, I think I got with tax and shipping for like 55 bucks, which might seem very steep. But a lot of times hand-dyed yarn for one 100-gram skein will run you between $25 and $30, maybe more depending on what the fiber content of it is. So to get all of this, 2 minis and shipping and tax for that, it's a pretty good deal. So I love it. I love all of it. I still have more yarn to show you. Terrapin Fiberworks, who is making the cowl, or who designed the cowl that I'm going to be making, also dyes yarn, and she dyes cotton and tinsel yarns, and she was working with another yarn dyer that I love called LaRue Cotton. You've seen some of her yarns in here before, and they did a whole collection on villains, and they were all very cute. But when I saw this particular skein from Terrapin Fiberworks, I'm like, ooh, like I will regret not buying that. And I just bought 1 skein. I showed immense self-control, but let me just show you. Guys, look at it. This is called You Look Like Seafood. If you have watched Moana and you know the scene where the crab is singing, That's what this is inspired of. And it's gorgeous. Like, it's so inky black, and then it has these pops of dark blue, dark purple, and it's on a tencel base, which I've never used before. And tencel is a lot shinier. I think that that's coming through, that this has a sheen to it. And a lot of times when I've seen tencel yarn, I'm like, I don't like it. Like, I don't like the way it looks. It's too much for me. But one, I know that when you work it up, it's not as shiny. And two, it's perfect on these colors. Like, the shine is working for it. So I'm really pumped about this. This has 437 yards. So a lot of yardage, it's kind of a thin fingering, but I love it. It's going to become a shawl. I know it's going to become a shawl because I think that's the best way to show this off, since I just have the one skein of it, and I cannot wait to wear it. It's going to be gorgeous whenever I do something with that. And the last little bit of yarn actually came in this very day. So if you recall, I had ordered from the Frosted Stitch, who I love, and who does very, like, her inspirations for collections are so different than anybody else that I follow that dyes yarn. So she did a whole collection called Echoes that was based on abandoned buildings, and it's gorgeous. And so I bought yarn from that months ago, and somehow I put the right billing address but the wrong shipping address, and it went all the way from Canada to the wrong address, stayed there for a month while I was trying to get it away from that address, went all the way back to Canada, and it got sent to me, and I got it today, and it's so pretty. So let me show you. This is called Tradition, and it just reminds me of Thanksgiving. And I originally thought that I would be getting this in time to make something for Thanksgiving, and I didn't, and that's excuse me, that's okay. So I'll just get to make it for something next year. But the way that, like, the oranges go to the browns, go to the cream color, it's just so happy and so fall. And I think I want to make like little tiny granny puff squares. I don't know what it's going to become, but it's so very pretty. I love this. This one was called Tradition, and I got it on a sock weight. So each of these have 470 yards, which is a lot. And then the other one that I got was this stunner. I think this one is called Home. Yes, this one is called Home. And it's these, and it's not really coming through on camera, but like browns and blues and greens on a tweed, and it's incredibly soft and squishy. And this, I know what this is going to become. This is going to become a pair of fingerless gloves, and I've never made fingerless gloves, but I'm going to make some over Christmas, and I think these will be perfect and cozy for that, and I love them. It's a DK weight, and it's got 231 yards in this. Because this was missing for a long time, Krista of the Frosted Stitch was great about like with me communicating to her what was going on, but she also released a collection last week, 2 weeks ago. I think it was on the 2nd, so I guess that was last week, inspired by libraries. And so once we knew that these were coming back to her, she was like, hey, if you want to order something from the libraries collection, no pressure, but I can just send them all together. I said, that's so sweet. Of course I want to buy something from the library collection. So I bought a set of minis, and again, these came in today, so like I have to show you. Guys, look at this. Look at it. The first one of these yarns that I saw that I was like, I have to buy something from this collection, is this teal color, which I believe is called Study. And then this on the very end, it's not coming through on the camera, but is a really gorgeous purple. And then this one's called Pages. It's like an off-white, and I love it. And I also know what this is going to become, because TL Yarn Crafts released a pattern called the Rancher Shawl that uses minis, and it's Tunisian crochet, and it's just a simple kind of fade, and I'm going to make it out of this. I believe that the pattern calls for 13 minis and this is 8, but I've made shawls from her before and sometimes they're very large, and even if it isn't very large, I think I will be happy with the size that this will get me. So very excited about this. I think this will also become a winter break project or like early next year project, and it's just so pretty. And I might change the order up a little bit of these, like maybe even like start with pages and kind of go through these and maybe get to the burgundy color and the purple and then the blue. I don't know how I'll do it, but I love them. They're inspired by libraries. Like, I'm gonna feel like Belle wearing that shawl, and it's gonna be amazing. So I hope that this week having an extra long episode has made up for the fact that I haven't been on here for a couple weeks. I should be able to be back on next week. And then the week after that, we'll be in Georgia for a couple weeks. So after next week, I'll probably won't see you until the beginning of next year. But I wanted to leave you with what I can't let go, and what I can't let go of is how much thought my husband put into my birthday presents this year. Obviously, he got me the yarn because I told him he had to give me the yarn, but he also got me and my side of the family and his side of the family these matching shirts that have the Yarncraft logo on them and have like the Instagram handle on the back. And for my birthday, he had everybody wearing theirs and sending pictures to me after he had given me mine, and it was perfect. He's fantastic, and I had a wonderful birthday, and I got to celebrate it the way that I wanted to, with far too much food and really cute pictures and with people that I love. So it was great. I hope that you get to have a restful next week, and I will see you back here next time. Bye.